are all at the founder, Mr. Sudhindran, an individual whose life has been a testament to dedication, service, and continuous learning. Born and raised in Chennai, he embarked upon the academic journey at SSSSOKA University, where he completed his B.Com honors at the Vrindavan campus in 1997, followed by an MBA from the Prashanthi campus in 2000. Blessed by Swami, Mr. Sudhindran began his professional career in January 2003 at the Finance and Accounts Department in the Samithi Central Trust in Prashanthi. His devotion and commitment were further recognized when he was given the opportunity to lead the Vedas chanting in the state Prashanthi. He was also privileged to serve Swami directly in the Yajur Mandir from 2008 until the Mahasabha. In November 2011, Mr. Sudhindran moved back to Chennai, with his mother, and continued his career in Finance and Accounts Department of reputed multinational corporations. He later advanced to become the head of Finance and Accounts at the Government of Andhra Pradesh Enterprise in Visakhapatnam, demonstrating his unparalleled pursuit of knowledge to complete a professional degree in law in October 2000. Currently, Mr. Sudhindran is the general manager of a nutraceutical company in Bangalore. His journey reflects not only professional excellence, but also a deep-seated commitment to spiritual and personal growth. Today, Mr. Sudhindran will share his insight on the topics the Vedas and modern science, a subject that bridges ancient wisdom with contemporary understanding. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sudhindran to enlighten us on this fantastic talk.
I offer my most loving and grateful pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet. Respected elders, my dear brothers and sisters, Sai Ram to all of you. As I stand here today, as a speaker for the summer course in Indian culture and spirituality, my mind goes back to those days, those golden days that I spent as a student at Bhagwan's lotus feet, when we enjoyed Bhagwan's darshan, sparshan and sambhashan, and I would say extra blessings during the summer course that were conducted every year back then in Vrindavan. And today, Swami is still conducting these wonderful sessions as a part of the summer course. And inspiring and guiding the youth of today. At the outset, I'd first like to congratulate all of you to have chosen to come here, and more importantly, to have been chosen by Bhagwan to be here to attend these sessions. Just one quick thing that came to my mind. Long time back, when Swami was interacting with his students, Swami, in one of those sessions, was speaking about very abstract philosophy, very abstract Vedanta to all the students, and the students were really finding it very difficult to comprehend what was Swami was talking about. And Swami, for a few minutes, yes, they were trying very hard to try to understand what Swami was saying, but then it was, after some time, the students just gave up. They just kept looking and enjoying the beautiful form of Swami. And even beyond that, when Swami kept on talking, more and more of this highly abstract Vedanta. Slowly, some of the students even in the back started falling asleep. It was a very long session. And at the end of it, somebody very humbly saluted to Swami. Swami, what you spoke about today was so nice, but Swami, this is so difficult for us to understand and comprehend that we have almost lost interest because it's so difficult to understand, Swami. And then Swami told, I know about that. I saw some of the students even dozing off. But remember, every word that I have spoken has already gone into your subconscious mind. And at the right time, these seeds that I have sown today will sprout forth. So, these sessions that we are having in Swami's presence, every bit of it, we may or we may not understand them completely now. But then, at the right moment, that aha moment, all of it will just get tied together and will just sink inside. So, as I was standing here, I was simply reminded of that episode, and I just wanted to share it with all of you. Bhagavan Sri Krishna declared with the Dwapara Yuga in the Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkrata dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Our dear Lord Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba declared on 1st of October 1962, on the occasion of Purnahuti of Veda Purusha Saptaha Jnana Yajna Prashant Nilayam. On this occasion, and on many more occasions, earlier and later, Swami declared, and I quote, my task comprises of Veda Samrakshana, protection of the Vedas, Vidvat Poshana, fostering Vedic scholars, and Dharma Sthapana, establishment of righteousness. Period. All three are interdependent. End of quote. So, as we know, the very basic purpose for which all the avatars come down, descend to earth, is Dharma Sthapana. And attached and interrelated to this divine task of Dharma Sthapana are Veda Samrakshana and Vidvat Poshana. Now, what do the Vedas have to do with righteousness? in the hearts of men and women. It is said that Vedo Khilo Dharma Moolam, meaning to say, Vedas form the root of the tree of Dharma. And therefore, if the Dharma has to be fostered, one has to nourish the roots with water. Isn't it? If you plant if you sow a seed and it starts sprouting, it becomes a plant. And if you want it to grow, you will obviously water the roots and not the branches or leaves. And therefore, Veda Poshana is a critical pre-qualification step for Dharma Sthapana. And when Swami said Veda Poshana and Vidvat Poshana, Vedas by themselves, scriptures, cannot be developed until you actually encourage people or the Vidvans to first of all learn it, practice it themselves, and then share it with everyone. So that's why Swami's mission is very clear. Dharma Sthapana, Veda Rakshana, and Vidvat Poshana. Now, coming to another question as to what is the significance of Vedas? What is the origin of Vedas? The Vedas are called Apaurusheyas, meaning to say that they are not composed by any human being. But then we all know that when we chant, for example, when we chant the Gayatri Mantra, we say Vishwamitra Savita Devata Gayatri Chandaha. So every mantra, it has a Rishi, Chandas and Devata. So then, if Vedas are Apaurusheyas, then how come they are associated with some Rishi? Did then the Rishi compose it? No. The Rishis were called Mantra Drashtas, literally seers. As in their deep meditative state, they could hear and absorb the Vedic sounds, and that they brought it forth and shared it and taught it to the disciples. And then it was all compiled together. And therefore, the rishis were not composers, but they were mantra drashtas, the one who see us, literally speaking. So, therefore, we know that the Vedas, unlike Ramayana, which was composed by sage Valmiki, and Mahabharata, that was composed by sage Vedavyasa, the Veda mantras have not been composed by any human beings, and therefore they are of divine origin. And now coming to the related question as to how are the Vedas related to God? In the Sudhindran Upanishad, it said, Yasya Vishwasitam Vedaha, meaning to say, the Vedas are the breath of God. So this leads us to another interesting question. Was God born first or the Vedas were born first? And for this, the great saint Chandrasekhara Saraswati gave a very nice analogy. He mentioned that he posed a counter question. When a baby is born, is the baby born first or its breath comes first? So the answer is, when the baby is born, it starts breathing. And therefore, the origin of God and the Vedas both are unknown. And for practical purposes, both are Anadi and Ananta, one without a beginning and one without an end. So this is regarding the origin of the Vedas. And now, coming to the important question as to, yes, we know it is the breath of God, no doubt. But in a practical sense, what is the basis of the power of the Vedas? Vedas are nothing, the Veda mantras are nothing but potent combination of sounds. They are a very potent formulation and combination of various sounds. And sound and vibrations are basically two sides of the same coin. Sound is when it is audible to the human ear, whereas vibration is something which is not audible to the human ear. Essentially, they both are the same form of energy. And going back to Einstein's first law of thermodynamics, where he says that energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be changed from one form to another. And therefore, we know that the basis is this sound. What gives that power is the sound. And that's why Swami used to say, Shabda Brahmamayi. And the Omkar, the Pranava, is called Om-Ekaksharam Brahma, means Om is the symbol of Brahman or divinity. We talk about sound, but sound is an essential part of our daily life, isn't it? We wake up to our alarm ringing, and then we have the daily chores going on at home, then we head out to office, school, wherever, and we're exposed to traffic, noise. So we know generally sound is an essential part of our everyday life, so much so that we actually have stopped paying attention to it. So this takes me to the next question as to what is the power of sound? And in this regard, Swami has narrated a very beautiful Chinnakatha that I would like to share with all of you. Swami mentioned that once in a school, a teacher was teaching to her students the power of sound. And that time, the headmaster of the school happened to pass by. And then he was out of curiosity, he came into the class and started listening to the teacher's exposition on the power of sound. So then at the end of it, he told, see, all this is fine, but I don't completely agree with you. This power of sound principle that we've been talking about. So then immediately the teacher told the headmaster, just get out of my class. The headmaster was taken aback and he asked, you realize what you're doing? And this time the teacher shouted more louder, I just say, get out of my class right now. This made the headmaster furious, he was enraged at this insult. And he mentioned, not me, but you are going to get out of the school right now. And then the next second, the teacher folded her hands and apologized to the headmaster and said, "Sorry, sir, I didn't mean to do this, but I just wanted to demonstrate the power of sound." So then the teacher asked the headmaster, "Sir, did I hit you with a stick? Or did I box you? Did I even touch you physically?" And the headmaster admitted, "No." And then the teacher asked, "Then why are you so agitated?" I just spoke a bit loud." Sir, this I submit to the power of sound. So we all know how we react to beautiful music and how we react to the traffic sound, in the main roads of Bengaluru. Therefore, sound is a very powerful form of energy. It is divine, Shabda Paramamaya. And that's why in the New Testament it says, "In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God." So all the faiths acknowledge the power and divinity of sound. Now, another aspect of that I would like to touch upon is, okay, we agree that Vedas are a very potent and powerful combination of sound energy. But why are Vedas associated with wisdom? Which is said, "Ananto vai Vedaha." Vedas are they comprise the infinite wisdom in them. And when I say infinite and all forms of wisdom are really needed. So there is nothing like in the Vedas, there is nothing, just like my brother Anand mentioned, there is nothing called worldly and spiritual there. There is nothing called good or bad. Just like God, it is Vanvaditam, which is beyond the attributes of duality. Good, bad, worldly, spiritual, Papa, Punya, it's beyond all that. Because the creation is such, right? Everything is a manifestation of divinity. Some may be pleasant and palatable, some may not be. Nevertheless, every aspect in this creation is divine essentially. And therefore the Vedas comprise all forms of knowledge within them, not just forms of worship. In fact, the Upangas of the Vedas comprise of Dhanurveda, the knowledge of archery and warfare, the Ayurveda, the form of knowledge relating to health and wellness. It comprises of Jyotisha, astronomy. It comprises so many fields of science. And that's the reason I want to touch upon a few of the aspects on this topic called the Vedas and the modern science. At this point, I would like to pause and I would like to request if we can play a small video clip in this regard. Request you all to watch with attention because I found it so enriching. Is it correct? Just a few glimpses of what ancient India really knew that opened my field of interest. For a very long time, everybody assumed that the earth was flat. The concept that our planet was round is first mentioned around the 5th century BC by the Greek astronomers and scientists. If you check out the Sanskrit word for the
it is Bhumol. Bhu is Bhumi, yeah. Mol is Sanskrit is a language which people get to be even 7, 8, 10,000 years. Maybe even older. It stretches back from. And the word that we had for the earth, which was known to every little child in this country, was Google. It was a widely known fact that the earth was round by the very nomenclature. The other word for the earth is Jagat. Jagat is jiski gati hai, that which moves. So the earth was never considered to be stationary. We always knew that the earth was moving. The Sanskrit term to describe the solar system is Surya Malika. Surya meaning the sun, Malika meaning garden. So we knew way back that the sun was in the center and the planets were moving like a garden around us. Even if you look at the Nagar statues that are there in all the ancient temples of India, you will see that the sun is kept in the middle. We have already a heliocentric view of the solar system. On a full moon night, if you ever gaze at the serene beauty of the moon, the one thing that you will conclude is it's white, isn't it? The moon is white. Yet, as far back as the Atharva Veda, there is a shloka which says, Chandra Madi Krishna. Chandra, moon, Madi, soil, Krishna, black. They said that the soil of the moon was black. And this was verified only when we actually landed on the moon and we got a sample from the moon and we realized, oh my god, yes, the soil of the moon is black. This is not a coincidence. This is an insight. This is deep thought. But let's turn our attention to the Scorpio constellation. Yes. In Scorpio, there is a star called Antares. It's considered to be between the 10th and the 15th brightest object in the sky. If you think about it, ancient Indians definitely knew a lot of science, right? So if something is not so bright, it would not be much of a stretch of the imagination to conclude that it is much smaller than the more brighter objects in the sky. Isn't it? So now Antares is the 10th to the 15th brightest object in the sky, yet it has been named Jeshta by our ancients. Jeshta means the oldest one, the biggest one. Indeed, Antares is one of the biggest objects in the sky of what we know. It is 12 times the size of the sun, and Antares was put in our solar system. Its size would be somewhere in between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. It is really big. How our ancient people concluded that it was so big is something that we can only wonder about. When I was in the 7th or 8th standard, I remember being asked a question, which star is closest to the Earth? And the answer my professor expected from me was, of course, Proxima Centauri. I surprised him by saying, it's the sun. But yes, the sun is a star which we kind of take for granted, and we call it the sun. And the next closest star to us is in the Centaurus constellation, and it's called Proxima Centauri. Proxima Centauri is approximately 4.2 something light years away from the Earth. Do you know what our ancients called Proxima Centauri? Mitra. Mitra means the one who's close. Is that a coincidence again that they named the closest star Mitra? Right? This also shows that they knew the difference between planets and stars. Here is the modern value of this measurement. Now, just listen to this shloka. one ocean. And the Yojana is around 8 miles. There is a lot of debate about this, but if you take the Yojana to be somewhere near 8 or 9 miles, this particular slogan with the heard is actually a formula to calculate the speed of light. And if you check out this value, you will find that it is remarkably close to the modern value of speed of light. When people get married in the traditional way in India, the husband and wife are asked to step out of the mother and look at a particular star in the sky called Arundhati Vasishtha. Now, Arundhati and Vasishtha were supposed to be the ultimate married couple. She was always devoted and totally loved her husband. And Vasishtha, the great Rishi, was the most amazing, loving husband that you could think of for Arundhati. This is amazingly illustrated by this twin star system, which, by the way, in modern nomenclature is called Alpha or Mizar. That the two stars rotate around each other. It's not that one is in the center and the other rotates around it, but the two stars actually rotate around each other. Their destinies tied in a synergistic dance. It's just the way a husband and wife should be. Like, it is not that the husband should be in the center and the wife goes around him, or the wife should be in the center and the husband goes around her. It should be that the husband and the wife dance their destinies, keeping each other's interests, passions, and love in mind. I could go on and on and on about astronomy, but I want to end with two things which are not really astronomically related but absolutely fascinating in them. The first is, if you look at the pillar standing outside the Qutub Minar in Delhi today, it is made of iron and the iron is rust-proof. The terrible pollution of Delhi, the crazy fumes, the moisture, all of that has done nothing to this pillar. There is no doubt about it that it is iron. There is no doubt about it that it doesn't rust. And till today, we do not have the technology to create rust-proof iron. Also, it is not a pillar that is unique or alone. There are many such pillars scattered all around the country, some in very, very remote villages, which meant that the ability to create this was not an elitist thing, but normal, general people did not do it. So, rust-proof iron would be a dream, and that dream has been realized a long time ago in this country. And we have still not figured out how to do it. To end, I would like you to listen to this particular story. As you can see from the translation, it is one of those very, very many shlokas that are there in the praise of Lord Krishna. But there is a secret here. If you take ka, ta, fa and replace them by one, and so on, as is shown in this table, then this particular shloka is actually the encoded value of 5 up to 31 decimal places. You know, the first time I saw this, it really blew my mind. These guys knew how to do encoding. These guys knew the value of pi. These guys did this in a form of a devotional poem, a shloka. I had goosebumps when I first heard about the Vedas.
Thank you.
So we just witnessed just a glimpse of the great science that's encoded in the Vedas. Unfortunately, we know nothing about it. See, in the ancient times, we had great scientists and astronomers like Aryabhatta, Varahamihira, and surgeons like Charaka, Shushruta, and so many of them. I just gave a few of their names. They were so advanced in their field of knowledge. But how come we Indians are so backward in science and technology vis-a-vis the other so-called developed countries of the world? Isn't it quite ironical that our forefathers and the great sages of yore were so advanced, and we, not just as Indians, but the entire humanity is so ignorant of those great advancements that those days it was possible for those sages of the Vedic age. I'll come back to this point in a bit. But one would actually wonder, how come is there then a separate part of the Vedas dealing with this science and a separate part dealing with worship of gods? The answer is yes and no. As in, sage Shainacharya has mentioned that every word in Sanskrit, in the Vedas, has 6 meanings. Every word has 6 meanings. And therefore, you can imagine in a sentence, based on the permutation and combination of so many words and their different meanings, how many more meanings and translations of one sentence could be possible? And one of the meanings of the 6 meanings, one of the meanings is a purely medicinal meaning. And therefore, in fact, I don't recollect the name of the book, but I have seen a book which is given the medicinal meaning and translation of the Namaka Rudra. So when we all know that Namakam is a time in praise of Lord Shiva, how many of us know actually that it is also a treatise in medicine? Coming back to this aspect of the various meanings one word can have, let me give you a very small example. Let's take the word khaga in Sanskrit. Any idea what could be the possible meanings of the word khaga? I mean, you can just take a guess. Yes, number one word. Oh, yeah, okay. Absolutely. So, khaga is kham-ga. Anything that moves in the sky. So, one is of course bird. But then do we know that sun god is also called Nagar. And Surya Namaskar mantra says Khaga Yanamaha. And therefore, this one word Khaga can refer to a bird as well as to the sun or any celestial object. Another interesting thing from the Namaka. So in the Namaka, we have one verse which says Namaka Varte Yukta Keshayacha. So it means salutations to Lord Rudra, who is in the form of Kapardina, the one with long matted hair. And the next word Yukta Keshayacha means one who's clean shaven. It's quite funny, right? First word you talk of Shiva having long matted hair, and the next word you talk about Shiva in the form of Yukta Kesha, who's clean shaven. The point is, this is at a physical level. But then, if we analyze as to what hair is called in Sanskrit, one of the meanings, one of the words is Shiroja. Shiroja means, Shira means head, Ja the one which originates out of the head. Therefore, one meaning of the word Shiroja is head. But there's another meaning of Shiroja. Any guesses? Symbolically, it refers to our thoughts. And therefore, the Buddha Kesha in this case refers to the Lord Rudra who's transcended thoughts, who's transcended the mind, who's ever fixed in Brahman. It also refers to a class of sannyasins who are clean shaven. So just this verse, Namak Kaparpinej, and yes, there are also another class of sannyasis who have very long matted hair. So in one way it refers to sannyasins who have long matted hair, and another class of sannyasins who have clean shaven. But then if you take the inner significance or the symbolic meaning of it, it refers to the one with thoughts, the one who is transcended in thoughts. And therefore, if you see, there are so many possible meanings for every word and sentence in the Vedas. It's like something like an onion. You peel one layer, there's another layer inside. You peel that one, there's another layer inside, and so on and so forth. And that's why Swami always used to say, S-A-I, see always inside. This is true even with Swami's words, right? You would have heard so many stories as to when Swami is saying something physically, and the devotee is confused. But then later on, the inner meaning of what Swami said gets revealed to that devotee. So this is the richness of the Veda mantras. Now we just saw that video clip that demonstrated the advancement in science and technology that the Vedic rishis had achieved long time back in this land. So then how come we've lost out on that? That is because of our misconception. So let me quote a verse from the Ishavasya Upanishad. It goes thus: Antham tamah pravishanti je avidya upasate tato purva ivate taho vidyayam nathaha anyadeva vidyaya anyada pura avidyaya vidishushrumadhira namye nastat vichachakshire vidyancha avidyancha yastat vedo bhajatum saha avidyaya mrithyum tirtva vidyaya mritamashmute. Here the vidya refers to the spiritual knowledge or the spiritual meaning, and avidya refers to the physical or the material meaning or knowledge. Let me give you the exact translation of this. Let me read it out. Into dense darkness they enter who worship avidya. Into greater darkness, as it were, they enter who worship Vidya. The results achieved through the worship of Vidya and Avidya are different from each other. One who knows Vidya and Avidya together crosses over death through Avidya and becomes immortal through Vidya. Therefore, one must realize that both secular and spiritual knowledge are essential to achieve the Purusharthas of Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha in our lives. It's a great misconception that spirituality or spiritual knowledge is opposed to secular or scientific knowledge. That, I submit, was the great misconception that has kept us away from the huge treasure of knowledge the Vedas possess in them. Both the forms of knowledge, both the spiritual as well as the secular and scientific knowledge, are like the two legs required for a person to walk to his ultimate destination. If any one form of knowledge is compromised in the interest of another, then men lose balance and fall into material poverty and spiritual decadence. And that's what we've seen during the medieval ages in our country. So coming to what Swami has mentioned in this regard, Swami has very beautifully mentioned, saying, Ihamana Sukhayimpa Hemadharaka Vidya, Paramana Sukhayimpa Brahma Vidya. Meaning to say, in order to achieve happiness and comfort, we need the Hemadharaka Vidya or the material knowledge to eke out our livelihood and to make sure that we have enough to cater to our needs. But then that's not the be all and end all of everything, because in the next sentence Swami says, Paramana Sukhayimpa Brahma Vidya. We also, more importantly, need the spiritual knowledge in order to achieve our ultimate goal of Brahman. And therefore, in ancient India, there was no contradiction or opposition between the secular and the spiritual forms of knowledge. In fact, the scientists of yore were themselves Vedic sages. And in front of our eyes, we've seen how where Swami gave so much importance to the Vedas that all of us chant the Vedas. And in Prashanthanayam, till this day, and even in the future, Vedas are and will form an essential part of the mantra routine. But did Swami just stop with that? Swami then constructed the Sri Satsa Institute of Higher Learning and Sri Satsa Institute of Higher Medical Sciences also, right? And both these institutions of Swami deploy the modern cutting-edge technology in the field of medicine and education. And therefore, Swami has not chosen spiritual knowledge over secular scientific knowledge or otherwise. Both of it go hand in hand. And that's all we need to believe and strive towards. Because there is no contradiction between the Vedas, the spiritual knowledge or the scientific knowledge in the Vedas. It's all knowledge, and knowledge is divine. Both these forms of knowledge should be beautifully synthesized in order to meet its end, which is the benefit of humanity. And as long as we have that goal in mind, no form of knowledge is good or bad. So, yeah, almost exceeded my time. So, with these few words, I would like to wrap up my speech. But before that, I would like to ask you, now that you know that the Vedas are the lifeblood of God, and Veda Samrakshana is an important pillar in avataric mission. Are you all willing to participate in this mission of Bhagavan? Yes? Some of you yes, some of you no, some of you don't know, or is it a resounding yes from all of you? Thank you. So, when we take one step towards Bhagavan, as Swami has promised, He will take 100 steps towards us. All we need to do is first to start learning the Vedic mantras and chant it perfectly. Once we do that, the next step that follows is that we then need to start learning the meaning of the Vedas. And after having learned the meaning, we shouldn't stop there. We should then apply it in our daily lives. This is the third step. And the fourth step is after having learned the Vedas, after having understood its meaning, or rather, embark on the journey to understand its meaning at different levels, at different degrees, in different contexts. Once we embark on the journey of trying to know the meaning of understand the meaning of the Vedas, and then apply that in our daily life, final step would be to share that knowledge with everyone. Because Swami, in one of the discourses during Dashara, categorically mentioned anybody who chants the Vedas and has denied benefit from it and who does not share it with others is a donga, meaning to say a thief. Because Vedas are the legacy, divine legacy that God has bequeathed to the entire humanity. It is not restricted by any kind of barriers like language, age, gender, caste, creed, race, religion, country, you name it. Vedas are beyond all forms of these barriers or limitations. They are each one's birthright. Because knowledge is everyone's right. And therefore Vedas are also rightfully, it belongs to everyone. It is just that we need to take one step towards it, and then Swami will take care of the rest of it. So with this I would like to conclude my speech, and I hope and pray that Bhagavan blesses us with His grace so that step by step we all march towards Him as how it has been described in the Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahavinam Karavahe Tejasvinavadhikamastu Avidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Q&A session or Bengaluru. Okay, brothers and sisters, anything that you really want to ask or you want to share? I will try my best to see if I can give a response. Okay, good, and I hope and pray that we all embark, if not already, we all embark on this journey of the Vedas, because it is a journey of not a few days or months, but of birds together as we slowly, all of us converge at Bhagwan's lotus feet. Thank you so much, Sai.
Thank you, Sir, for this wonderful and wonderful talk and telling us about the profundity of Vedas and how it will impact our lives and the knowledge that our ancestors had. And for setting standard for us towards which we need to go. Now I call upon Sai Chandrasekhar sir to present a token of our love to Sudhindran sir.
ओम श्री साई भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबाय नमः।